Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Alexa and I have a serious problem that I need to eradicate today, and that is the fact that I am completely out of space on my bookshelves. As you can see behind me, I have two of the classic IKEA Billy bookshelves, but they are essentially packed to the brim. I have a couple of pockets of free space here and there, but that is mainly because books that I have read this month are not currently on the shelves. And I also have this massive pile of books on my couch that does not fit on my bookshelf whatsoever. So I think it's time to admit that I have a problem, but you and I are about to embark on a brutal unhaul so that I can fit all of the books that I want to keep on my bookshelves. So without further ado, let's get started on the first bookshelf. Okay, sorry about the strange angle, but hopefully we won't be here too long. So I think I'm just going to start pulling books that I am considering unhauling, and then we'll just go from there. I'll probably make like a yes, no, maybe pile. Over here are my children and middle grade books. I'm either collecting them, they were gifts, or I'm keeping them for nostalgic reasons. So I think we're pretty much just going to skip over this section and get started on the thriller/mystery section. I already know right off the bat I'm getting rid of The Finalists by David Bell. I absolutely hated this book. These two I've honestly been wanting to unhaul for a while, so these will also probably go into the unhaul pile. We've got A Cyclist's Guide to Crime and Croissants by Anne Claire, and Argyle by Ellie Conway. I really liked Society of Lies by Lauren Lang Brown, so I'm going to keep that one. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney I have not gotten to yet, but I still really want to read that book, so I'm going to keep it. I have three Lucy Foley books: The Hunting Party, The Paris Apartment, and The Guest List. I have read The Guest List and I liked it quite a bit. Haven't had a chance to get to her other books yet, but I think I'm going to keep those as well because I liked this one, so who knows, maybe I'll like her other ones as well. This book I have also been wanting to unhaul for a minute. Robert Lidlum's The Blackbriar Genesis by Simon Gervais. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell is one of my favorite thriller mystery books of all time, so we are keeping this one for sure. This is another one that I've been wanting to unhaul for a while. It's called A Face to Die For by Iris Johansson. Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica I'm going to put in the maybe pile. I have read this book and I thought it was okay. I don't have any strong feelings towards it, good or bad, so we'll see. Notes on an Execution by Dania Kukafka I have not read, but I really do want to read at some point. The Club by Ellery Lloyd. I have not read this book and I honestly don't know if I'm too interested in reading it anymore. I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile. I'm going to keep all of my Frida McFadden books. All right, moving on to the next shelf. These are mostly still thriller mystery books, as well as some horror books, sci-fi books, and a handful of my nonfiction books over here. Like I said, I'm going to keep all of my Frida McFadden books. Over here, I have all of my Alex Michaelides books. I have read The Silent Patient and The Fury, both of which I liked quite a bit, but I have not read The Maidens yet. I do want to keep all of these. Apples Never Fall by Leon Moriarty I'm going to keep. This is another one that I've been wanting to get rid of. It's called Devil's Corner by Lisa Scottoline. 0 Days by Ruth Ware I have not read, but I do want to keep. And that leads us into my horror section. Most of these books I have not read yet, but I really want to, so I'm going to keep all of these. And then these are my only two sci-fi books. I'm also going to keep both of these. Moving on to my nonfiction books. I think I'm going to get rid of this, what looks to be extremely outdated memoir by Miley Cyrus called Miles to Go. This is like a 2000s time capsule right here. I'm pretty certain that I'm never going to read this. I'm also going to get rid of Tell Everyone on This Train I Love Them by Maeve Higgins. I wasn't really a huge fan of this book and have pretty much no reason to keep it. The remaining nonfiction on this shelf I think I'm going to keep. So let's move on to my next shelf. So this right here is where my nonfiction ends and my YA begins. I think I'm going to put this one in the maybe pile. It is Cultish by Amanda Montell. This book was just okay for me. I'm not really sure if I want to keep it. And that is all for the nonfiction books. Moving on to my YA books. I know I want to keep those two, Light Lark by Ari Aster and Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Let's see what this is. A Quiet Kind of Thunder. I don't know what this is about. Okay, this actually looks pretty good. It's following our main character, Steffi, and she has been a selective mute most of her life, and when a deaf boy named Reese starts at her school, she is assigned to show him around. And as they learn to communicate together, their connection grows into what I assume is probably some kind of romance. We're gonna keep this. These are all of my Jennifer Lynn Barnes books, which I do want to keep. These are my Holly Black books, which I also want to keep. All of these are pretty recent purchases that I do want to keep, so we're keeping these. These two I also think I will keep. I have the first two books in the Maze Runner series by James Dashner, and I'm honestly just not super interested in these anymore. I'm sure someone else would be, so I'm going to get rid of these. The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. One of my coworkers gave this to me, and I honestly have no idea what it's about. I just thought that the cover was really cute. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile, and we will see about this one. The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna I will be keeping. Let's move down to the next shelf. All right, continuing on with the YA books. I am going to keep most of these. The one that I do want to unhaul is The Counselors by Jessica Goodman. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought this, but this just doesn't look or sound like something that I'm going to enjoy. I guess at one point I thought I would, but I think I was terribly mistaken. Aside from that one, I do want to keep the rest of the books on this shelf. It's a good one. Okay, down here I have even more YA books. I have way too many YA books. I don't even know how I ended up with literally like 4 shelves worth, but I need to start getting brutal here because I don't think I'm getting rid of enough books yet. So I know I want to get rid of this book. I don't understand what it's about and never feel gravitated to actually figure out what it's about or read it. So that is a telltale sign that I am never going to read a book. So goodbye, The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. My Lynn Painter books I do want to keep. I want to keep these two because these are pretty new. I might be getting rid of all of my Powerless series. This is gonna go in the maybe pile. A few more books where I don't know what they are about, and I don't think I'm ever going to take the time to find out. They just don't really appeal to me. I don't think I'm ever going to get to these. There's really no point in keeping them if I don't plan on reading them, so we will be getting rid of these 3. Everland by Wendy Spinell, Sadie by Courtney Summers, and Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I do want to keep A Sky Beyond the Storm by Saba Tahir. Although this is the 4th book in the series, I can either get the other books or find them at the library perhaps. I really do want to read this series at some point. It was just my unfortunate mistake that I bought the 4th book instead of the 1st book. I also think I'm going to get rid of Star Daughter by Shweta Thakrar. I read this recently. It was just okay to me, but It is a exclusive Fairy Loot edition that is signed. It's very gorgeous, just not really a book that's for me. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that there was art inside of the dust jacket. That's really cool. We're still getting rid of it though. And the last shelf down here are both YA books and then fantasy books. Another book I'm going to get rid of is this Golden Flame by Emily Victoria. It's another gorgeous Fairy Loot exclusive edition and it is also signed, but I just don't really see myself ever reading this one. I'm also going to get rid of Places We've Never Been by Cassie West. I did hate this book, so we're getting rid of it. This is another Fairy Loot exclusive edition that is signed that I will be getting rid of. I just don't have any interest in these Fairy Loot editions, apparently. That's all for my YA books. Now let's move on to my fantasy books. I think I'm pretty much going to keep all of these except for The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I really didn't enjoy this book too much, and that's all I have to say about that. So the first half of my unhaul is complete. Let's move on to my next bookshelf. I'm going to work my way from the bottom to the top on this shelf just because the tripod is already at the bottom. So down here is all romance books. I know I definitely want to get rid of A Cosmic Kind of Love by Samantha Young. This is one of my Dollar Tree books that I could really take or leave. I also think I want to get rid of these two Nicholas Sparks books, The Wish and See Me. I have a third Nicholas Sparks book, The Lucky One, but I actually do want to read this one, but not so much these, so we're getting rid of these. These are all pretty new purchases, so I don't want to get rid of any of these. I'm also going to keep my Rebecca Serrell books. I think I'm going to get rid of both of the Lucy Score books that I have. I do not see myself ever reaching for these. The Worst Best Man and Maggie Moves On. I don't know what it is about these. They just don't appeal to me, so we're getting rid of them. I'm going to put Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage in the maybe pile. I'm not sure if I want to keep these or not. As for the rest of the books on this shelf, I do think I want to keep all of them, except for The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This was fine, but after I finished reading it, I pretty much remembered nothing about it, so we are dumping it. Moving on to my next bookshelf, I'm probably going to keep most of these because this is where all of my Ali Hazelwood books are and where all of my Emily Henry books are, which I love. I have some Ellen Hildebrand books. I think I'm going to probably get rid of this one, What Happens in Paradise, because I'm pretty sure this is the second book in a series and I just don't really see myself getting to this anytime soon, especially when I have these two as well. I've got some Colleen Hoover books that I've been wanting to make a video about but have been procrastinating, so I might keep those just for content's sake. The rest of these I think I want to keep. All right, next up is a bunch more romance books. I actually think I want to keep most of these. The only one I'm probably going to get rid of is The View Was Exhausting by Michaela Clements and Anjulia Dada. Well, that was easy. Next shelf. All right, this next shelf is half fiction and half romance. So I maybe want to get rid of this book just because I don't have the dust jacket for it. It is I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica L. Sanchez. I'm gonna put this in the maybe because while I do really want to read this book, it does drive me nuts that I'm missing the dust jacket for it. So we'll see about this one. I think I'm going to get rid of Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. I really love Sourdough by Robin Sloan, but this one was not really my cup of tea. I think I'm going to get rid of this copy of The Help. I did get it from a Little Free Library and it is not in great condition. So I'll probably just put this back into the Little Free Library ecosystem for someone else to enjoy. The rest of these I really can't see myself parting with, So we're gonna keep them. All right, moving on to some more fiction books up here. I've been wanting to get rid of this one for a minute. It's called Really Good Actually by Monica Heisey. I also think I'm going to get rid of If Cats Disappeared from the World by Junki Kawamura. As for the rest of these, I think I'm going to keep them. Let's move on to the next shelf. All right, sorry that we're back to the weird angle, but this is a slight continuation of my fantasy books from the shelf next door, and then just some more fiction books. Off of this shelf, I'm probably going to get rid of the Jane Austen Book Club by Karen Joy Fowler, Bridget Jones' The Edge of Reasoning by Helen Fielding, The Magic Strings of Frankie Presto by Mitch Albom, and Hallow Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton. All right, I had to bust my step stool out so that I could reach the very top shelf, which is our final shelf of today's unhaul. On this side, I have my Book of the Month books, and on this side, I have my Aardvark Book Club books. I'm gonna keep all of my Aardvark Book Club books. As for the Book of the Month books, I do want to get rid of a handful of these. I'm basically just getting rid of all of the Book of the Month books that I have read, and the rest I will probably also get rid of once I read them. I also forgot that I have this little stack of Penguin classics that does not have a place on my bookshelf because there has not been any space to give it a spot on the bookshelf. But I do want to keep all of these, and hopefully there will be space on the bookshelves for them very soon. All right, the shelves are already looking so much more spacious, so let's go through my maybe pile and make some final decisions. I think I am going to get rid of I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica L. Sanchez. Not because I don't want to read this book, but because I am really upset and confused as to why I don't have the dust jacket for this book. Yeah, I just can't deal with that. Next are the first two books in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. Don't get me wrong, I did like these books, but the truth of the matter is that if I have the first two books, I'm going to want to buy the other two books that I don't have to complete the series. And do I really have the space for that? I don't think so. It's very If You Give a Mouse a Cookie vibes, because if you give me the first two books in the series, I'm obviously gonna want to buy the rest of the series, especially if I've read it, which I have. So I think I'm just going to beat myself to the punch and get rid of these before I buy the rest of the series. It's like I either want 0 or 4, not 2. You know what I mean? Next in the maybe pile is the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts. The problem with unhauling this series is that the first two books are signed to me, so like I just said, I want 0 or 4, so all right, we're keeping them. I got bored just trying to read the synopsis of this book, so we are definitely unhauling the Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. I think I'm also going to unhaul Cultish by Amanda Montell. I'm just not feeling any gravitational pull to keep this book. I only have 2 more books in the maybe pile, and I think I'm going to get rid of both of them. Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. This one just didn't really blow me away. And again, I'm not really feeling any twinge of wanting to keep it, so we're dumping it. And last but not least, The Club by Ellery Lloyd. I bought this at a thrift store at one point or another thinking that it might be an interesting read, but I'm not really feeling the same about this book anymore, so we're gonna pass it along to somebody else. The only survivors of the unhaul purge, the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts. They have earned their spot back on the shelf. I'm gonna do one final sweep of the bookshelves and see if there are any more that I feel like I need to unhaul today. All right, I found a few more books that I wanna unhaul today. This one was not on my shelves because it was in my stack of books that I read this month. It is Twisted by Emily McIntyre. It was fine, but I don't really see myself ever reaching for this to reread, recommend, anything like that. So I'm probably just gonna get rid of it. The Dream Hotel by Layla Lilami. This was a Read with Jenna book club pick earlier this year, and I really wanted to love this book, but I just thought it was okay. So we are going to pass it on to someone else who might enjoy it more. And the last book that I grabbed during my final sweep of the bookshelves is On Writing by Stephen King. I initially overlooked this because I said I wanted to keep all of my Stephen King books, but I forgot that I mistakenly purchased this book thinking it was one of his fiction books, but it's actually a nonfiction book. It's pretty much just about his writing process, I believe, and I would honestly much rather just read his writing than read his writing about his writing. So I'm going to get rid of this one. Okay, I know you can't see all of them, but I'm going to count all of these books and see how many I ended up unhauling today. All right, I officially unhauled 51 books. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know anything you want to let me know. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram and Goodreads. They are always linked in the description below. And make sure that you are subscribed so that you can see more videos from me in the future. But for now, that is all, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Have I read this? No, I have not read this. Little tripod issue here, guys. Pretend you didn't see that. I'm gonna get so motion sick while editing this. I think I am going to get rid of I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. All right, it's time.